Spill the tea? Ghost your friend? Get lit at a party? Stan a celebrity?
Huh?
If you are learning English and you are confused by some of the slang words that you sometimes see on the internet, then you clicked on the right video. That's because in today's full and free English lesson, we are going to be taking a deep dive into the crazy world of English internet slang. Here's the plan for today. In part 1 of today's video, we're going to learn 10 slang words. Yeah, I will explain them very clearly to you, and we will see how all of them are used correctly in context. In part 2, we will see these words that we've just learned used in a story. That's right, we're going to read a short story together, and in that story, we are going to see all of the new words that we've learned here today. In the final part of today's video, part 3, we are going to have some speaking practice. Yeah, we will have a chance to hone our spoken English and respond to an interesting question. Now, if all of that sounds good to you and you're ready to get started, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure you click like on this video to support me as your YouTube English teacher, and make sure you watch all the way till the end. All right, let's jump in. The first slang term I'd like to talk about is ghosted. Ghosted, yeah, like a ghost, right? But used as a verb. What does it mean? When someone suddenly stops communicating with you without any explanation, right? You're talking to someone, you're having a conversation with them on the internet, right? Maybe you're texting, maybe you're sending messages back and forth, and then suddenly they stop replying to you. And there is no explanation. There's no reason why. They just stop and they leave you feeling confused. Huh? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? You've been ghosted, right? That's the word, ghosted. Here are some synonyms or similar words. Maybe ignored, we could say, is a synonym of ghosted. If somebody ignores you, they start ignoring you without any reason, without any explanation, they've ghosted you. Cut off is another synonym that we could compare to ghosted. If somebody cuts you off and they don't tell you why, then they are ghosting you. Some antonyms or opposite words might be respond or engage, right? If you respond to someone, then you reply to them. If you are engaging with someone, then you are interacting with them, right? You are actually having a conversation. Now let's take a look at 2 different example sentences so we can see how this is used in correct context. Here's the first one. I thought we were getting along well, but then he ghosted me out of nowhere. Okay, now in this example sentence, you can see that the person is surprised, right? They didn't see this coming. They didn't expect this to happen. They say, I thought we were getting along well. I thought things were going good, but then he ghosted me out of nowhere. What does that mean, out of nowhere? We could also say out of the blue. It kind of means without any reason or very suddenly and unexpectedly, like you really didn't think it would happen, but it did. Here's another example sentence. She felt really hurt when her friend ghosted her after their argument. Okay, so they have an argument, they're fighting. This girl, she feels really hurt, and then suddenly her friend ghosts her. Okay, her friend stops replying to her, stops communicating with her, cuts her off, and ignores her. Okay, now here's a personal connection. Because I think when we are learning new words, it's important to relate them or connect them to ourselves, okay? That helps us get a grasp on the words. So here's a question. Have you ever been ghosted? I hope you guys haven't been ghosted, and I also hope you've never ghosted someone else. You can pause the video and think about this question, maybe talk out loud, or leave me a comment down in the comments section. All right, let's move on to the next slang term. Up next, we have flex. It's a verb. Yeah, like you flex your muscles, right? You flex your muscles to show them off. Well, this is used in a similar way, but you're not showing off your muscles, you're showing off something else. So we use flex as a verb to show off something, usually to impress others, okay? Maybe some synonyms could be brag or show off. Yeah, you are letting people see something good that you have because you want them to be impressed, or you want to impress them. You want them to think highly of you, right? Now, here are some antonyms. If you're not bragging, if you're not showing off, if you're not flexing, you're doing the opposite of those things. Maybe you're being humble. Yeah. If someone is humble, they don't feel a need to be flashy. They don't feel a need to show off or brag or impress people, right? Yeah, maybe they even downplay their achievements. Somebody says, wow, that's a really nice car you have. They say, it's so-so. It's no big deal, really. Let's take a look at these example sentences. He loves to flex his new car whenever he drives by the school. Okay, so this guy, he is driving by a school, and when he does so, because he cares what these people think, he wants their admiration, he wants their respect, he wants them to think that he's cool. What does he do? He flexes. Does he flex his muscles? No, he flexes his new car. Basically just meaning he lets them see his car, right? Because he knows if they see his car, they will be impressed. So he's bragging, right? He's showing off. He's not being humble. He's not downplaying his nice, expensive, fancy car, right? Here's another example. She posted a picture on Instagram to flex her vacation in Hawaii. Yeah, what else can you flex? You can flex a vacation. She posts on Instagram, she's showing off, she's bragging, right? Now, here's a personal connection for you guys. If you use Instagram, here's a question. Do you ever flex online? Maybe something good happens to you. Maybe you get a new thing, like a new car. Maybe you go somewhere cool. You go to a fancy restaurant. Do you ever post pictures on Instagram just to flex, just to show off, just to brag? Yeah, you can let me know down in the comments or pause and reply out loud. Up next, we have tea. Yeah, tea, like the beverage that you drink, right? Now, this tea means gossip or latest news. In other words, we could say, yeah, gossip or a scoop. What's the scoop? What's the gossip? What are the rumors? What are people secretly talking about, right? Usually about some drama, maybe drama at work, maybe drama within a friend group, a group of friends, right? So if you want someone to spill the tea, then you want them to tell you all about the latest gossip, the latest drama. You want the scoop on the situation, kind of like a scoop of ice cream, right? If you want the scoop, then you want to know what's going on. Some antonyms might be minding your business or keeping to yourself. Yeah, maybe there's some drama going on. Some people are arguing or they're not getting along or something dramatic happened. but you take a different approach. You don't care about the tea, the gossip, getting the scoop. You say, you know what? I'm gonna stay out of it. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna keep to myself. Example sentences. I've got some juicy tea about what happened at the party last night. Spill the tea. I want to know what everyone's talking about. Now, here's a personal connection for you guys. Are you good at keeping secrets, or do you spill the tea? Do you tend to reveal secrets or gossip or talk about drama? I have to admit, I know for me personally, I'm not great with secrets. If you tell me something, I'm going to want to tell my friends. I'm going to want to talk to my wife about it, especially if it's juicy drama, juicy gossip, juicy news, right? If something is juicy, ooh, that means it's really good. You really want to talk about it. You really want to share it with people. Up next, we have a really interesting one, FOMO. FOMO, now this is an acronym. An acronym. What's an acronym? It means every letter in the word stands for a word. So it really means fear of missing out. FOMO, fear of missing out. In other words, you want to be somewhere you are not. Yeah, so maybe, your friends are all at this big, exciting party and they're posting pictures, flexing online, right? And you are not there. Maybe you are stuck at home. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you have some extra work to do or extra homework. And you're looking at these pictures online, feeling so envious, so jealous. You're feeling a lot of anxiety. You're thinking, oh man, I really wish I could be there with them, but I'm stuck here at home. Now, maybe if you don't get any FOMO at all, we can say contentment or satisfaction. These two words basically just mean that you are happy with the way things are. You don't need to be anywhere else. You don't need to be doing anything else. You don't need to be with anyone else. You're happy with how things are right now. Okay, let's take a look at example sentences. I didn't go to the concert and now I have serious FOMO seeing all the posts online. Yeah, this person who's talking, maybe their friends are flexing online, posting pictures, trying to make people feel jealous, right? So they've got FOMO, a fear of missing out. They're envious. They're jealous. They have anxiety. They wish they were there. They are not feeling content. They are not feeling satisfied. Her FOMO kicked in when she saw all her friends hanging out without her, okay? Now, here's a personal connection. Do you tend to get bad FOMO or not so much? For me personally, when I was younger, I'm 30 years old now, maybe when I was 20 years old, if I saw all of my friends out at a bar or a club, having fun, posting pictures, I would feel so jealous, so, envious. I would have bad FOMO. We can say, I have FOMO or I got FOMO, right? So I would get terrible FOMO. I would really wish that I could be there, right? But now that I'm a little bit older, I don't really care so much. I'm happy to stay home, watch TV with my wife and my dog and relax. That's what makes me happy now. What about you guys? You can respond out loud or let me know in the comments section. Our next word is salty. Salty. Yeah, we can say food is salty if there's too much salt and it affects the taste of the food. But this is a really fun slang term because it means something totally different when you use it this way. If you use it this way, that means you are feeling upset or bitter, usually over something small. Yeah, so you're a little bit angry about something small that happened. Maybe it's not a big deal, like you're not that upset, you're not that angry, but you're a little salty, you're a little ticked off. Ticked off. Or maybe we could say irritated. Irritated, right? You're bitter, you're annoyed, you're ticked off. Yeah, you're feeling a little bit upset. It's not a huge deal, but you're a little bit salty, okay? Yeah, we have the same antonyms as before, content or satisfied, or maybe something doesn't really affect you. You know, if somebody does something small, maybe it irritates your friend and they feel a little salty, but you say, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. That didn't really upset me. I don't feel any kind of way. I don't feel any kind of way. It didn't affect me, right? Okay. Example sentences. He's still salty about losing the game last night. Okay, so to a lot of people, maybe losing the game wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? And yeah, to him, maybe it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but he's still feeling a little bit salty about it, right? She got really salty when someone else got the promotion she wanted. Okay, well, if you're salty, a little salty, you're just a little upset. If you're really salty, then maybe you're mad. Maybe it's starting to become a big deal, right? Somebody else got the promotion that she wanted. They got the job at work with the bigger title, the more important title, the better salary. That made her salty. So here's a personal connection question for you guys. What's something you get salty over? I would say that out of all of the 10 slang words we are learning today, low-key is probably the most difficult to understand because what we're talking about is something that's a little bit hard to use correctly. Okay, so here's what it means. Something that's understated or not too obvious. Okay, in other words, subtle, played down, or maybe you don't make a big deal out of it. Okay, so antonyms, opposite words might be if something is obvious, if something is in your face, then it is not low key. Okay, so I think we should jump right to the example sentences. She's low key nervous about the test, but she doesn't want to show it. Okay, she's low-key nervous. So she is nervous, but she's not making a big deal out of it. She's not running around letting everyone know how she feels. She's keeping it on the DL. She's keeping it on the down low. Okay, there's another slang expression for you. If you keep something on the DL, you keep it on the down low. Yeah, you kind of play it down. You don't make a big deal about it, or you don't make a big deal out of it. You're not going to be so obvious and letting everybody know. Here's another example. Ugh, I low-key hate this TV show. Okay, so if you low-key hate a show, maybe you're not going to make a post about it online discussing why you hate it. You're not going to let everyone know that you hate it, right? You're going to be a little more subtle. You're not going to be so obvious. You're going to play it down. You're not going to make a big deal out of it. You low-key hate it. Now, here's a funny personal connection question for you guys. What's a part of learning English that low-key bugs you? Bugs means bothers you. Maybe it annoys you, it bothers you, makes you upset, right? What's a part of learning English that low key bugs you? Yeah, so you don't, talk about it all the time. You don't complain about it openly, but maybe it does bother you. So it low key bugs you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of crazy rules in English that don't make any sense. Like, why is this pronounced ear? But this is pronounced bear, but this isn't pronounced baird, it's pronounced beard. Right? There's like no logic to it. And I kinda low key hate that. Okay, here's a fun expression binge. It means to watch or do something excessively. Excessively means like too much, right? Too much or beyond the normal amount. Usually we're talking about watching a TV show, right? So if you binge a TV show, maybe you watch 20 episodes of the show in one day. One after the next, after the next, after the next. You just keep watching. We can say you watch excessively. You overindulge. You have a marathon, right? Now, antonyms or opposite words might be moderation, right? You don't take it too far. You don't do too much. Maybe you watch one episode every night. You refrain from binging the show. Refrain kind of means you stop yourself or you hold back. You hold back, right? Okay, so I spent the weekend binging the entire season of that show. The entire season, they really went for it. They just kept watching and watching and watching. They binged the show. He likes to binge on snacks while watching movies, okay? Yeah, we could also say you binge on food, okay? You binge on food, you binge on some kind of content. Maybe if there's a YouTuber who you really like and you really like their videos, you can binge their content, watch all of their videos, right? Okay, so here's a personal connection. What's a TV series you couldn't help but binge? Here's my personal connection. I remember when I was about 14 years old, I binge watched the show Lost with my dad and my sister. Yeah, we could say that I binged the show or I binge watched the show. Both are okay. What about you? Is there a show that you binge watched because you just couldn't stop watching? You can pause and reply out loud to practice your speaking, or you can practice your writing, okay? Leave me a comment. Okay, now here's a slang term that kind of annoys people because it's used so much. So be careful how you use this one because people might think it's kind of trashy if you use this word, kind of annoying if you use this word. That's just because it's been overused for so long online. It's been overused for so long that people are kind of tired of it. They're kind of sick of it. They're kind of done with it. Lit. You use lit to describe usually an event that is very amazing, exciting, and really fun, right? Usually we're talking about an event like a concert or a party or a show that you went to. We could also say that movie was lit. It was really good. That song was lit. That song was fire, right? Maybe fire is another synonym here, fire. The opposite antonyms might be if something is dull. Dull means uninteresting or boring, right? It doesn't excite you. It's not fun or amazing or awesome. It doesn't hold your interest. The concert last night was so lit. I had the best time. Yeah, if somebody said this to me in real life, I would be like, did you really just say lit? So I have to warn you guys, it's a little bit cringe. It's a little bit cringe to use this word. What does cringe mean? It means this feeling right here. That's cringe, right? That party was lit. Everyone was dancing and having a blast, okay? The party was lit. Here's a personal connection question. Do you prefer a lit party or a small get-together with a few friends? In other words, how do you like to have fun? Do you like to go to like a club and get lit, right? Or do you like a small get-together, a small gathering with some close friends? And maybe you guys just have a small, low-key, a chill movie night or a game night. What kind of scene do you prefer? In other words, which option do you like more? Moving right along, we're almost done. Throw shade. Throw shade. A subtle insult or criticism. Now remember, subtle means like not too obvious, not too apparent, okay? Not really in your face. Subtle, played down, low key. So here's some synonyms. If you talk smack, talk shit, right? Talk smack. We could also say talk crap about somebody, or you insult them. Maybe you say bad things about someone is a simpler way of understanding this. You are saying bad things about someone. You are throwing shade at them. Okay? Antonyms would be to praise or compliment someone. These just mean that you say good things about somebody. She threw shade at her ex in her latest tweet. Wow, this is like the most millennial sentence of all time. She threw shade at her ex. Her ex could be ex-boyfriend, right? So she went on Twitter, twitter.com. She made a tweet, kind of like she made a post. And in that post, she threw shade at her ex. So she was saying bad things about her ex-boyfriend, right? Here's another example. I didn't mean to throw shade, but his outfit was really weird. So maybe this person was like kind of insulting the outfit. They were talking crap, talking bad about the outfit, and they feel kind of bad about it. Maybe they hurt the person's feelings, right? So now they're saying, I didn't mean to throw shade, but it was just so weird. Outfit means clothes, right? So they're talking about what this person is wearing. Personal connection. If someone threw shade your way at work, threw shade at you, would you call them out or just ignore it, right? So maybe you're at work and you hear somebody spills tea to you, lets you know that someone is throwing shade at you. They say, hey, you know what? He was saying bad things about you behind your back. Do you call them out? Do you confront them? So basically you go up to them and say, hey, I heard what you said about me. That's not cool. You shouldn't do that. Or do you just ignore it? Do you have the mindset, the mentality of just kind of ignoring the problem and moving on and conserving your energy? Yeah, you don't want to waste energy. Now, I have to admit, when I was preparing this video, I had never heard this word before. So I learned something too when I was preparing this lesson: stan. If you stan something or someone as a verb, right, you strongly support it or you are a fan of it, okay? You stan a show, you stan a band, you stan a person, right? That means you're a huge fan, you really like it or them, okay? So antonyms could be if you oppose something, you criticize something, you are not a fan of something, you're not on board with something, okay? Those are all opposite ideas of stan, right? So example sentences, I stan that band so much. I've been to all their concerts. Okay, so maybe another way of thinking about this is this person is a huge fan, or they really love this band so much. They go to all their concerts. She's a huge fan of the singer. She totally stans her. To me, that sounds weird. Like, I've never heard this expression before, but I looked it up, and yeah, I guess this is something that people actually say, So, okay, whatever. I guess I'm getting old, right? Is there a celebrity singer or band that you stan? Like maybe if this band or singer came to town, if they came to where you live, you would definitely go see their concert. You would definitely go to the show, and you would be in the front row with a sign and their t-shirt because you really stan them. Maybe let me know down in the comments. Okay, awesome, guys. Now, if you're still with me, I want you to take your hand, give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing awesome. You are making a big investment in your future as an English speaker, and you should be proud of yourself. Now, what we're going to do next is move on and read a story. The story incorporates all of those 10 slang words that we just learned. The story uses, incorporates, makes use of all 10 words, okay? So let's take a look, and we'll go kind of slow with this to make sure everything is clear. Emma had a low-key, right, or subtle feeling that something was up. What does that mean? Something was up. There was a problem. There was an issue. Something was up. Okay, something was wrong. Her friend, Jake, who usually texted her all the time, suddenly stopped replying. Uh-oh. It felt like he had ghosted or ignored her, and she was starting to feel salty or bitter or angry about it. She decided to check social media, maybe Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp, to see if she could find out what was going on. Yeah, she's really curious what was going on, right? She wants to get to the bottom of this. She wants to figure out, hey, what is happening? Why is he ignoring me? As she scrolled, she saw a post from their mutual friend, or a friend who is her friend and his friend, a friend they have in common, Amy. Amy was throwing shade. She was insulting in the comments about someone's outfit at the party last night. So Amy is throwing shade about what someone is wearing. Emma couldn't help but laugh. It was classic Amy. Classic Amy. That means, okay, this is just like her. Just like her. In other words, this is so her. She does this all the time. Then she saw a picture of Jake at that same party holding up a trophy. Here's a trophy. He's holding it up for everyone to see. Ah, just as I thought, he's totally flexing, bragging, showing off. What is he flexing? He's flexing his win in the video game tournament they had all been talking about. So I guess they were competing, having a competition, having a tournament. He won the tournament, so now he's flexing. So Emma is taking a look at all of these different things, and she felt a bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, seeing everyone having such a great time while she was stuck at home. But then she remembered why she hadn't gone to the party, right? She was busy binging, overindulging her favorite TV show. The new season had just dropped. In other words, it had just come out. It had just been released. Okay, so it's brand new, and it was too lit to miss. Ugh, that makes me cringe a little bit. I have to be honest, guys. I hate this word lit, but I guess people use it. It was too lit to miss. So, in other words, she can't help but to watch it because it's so good. While watching, Emma started to feel a little better. She realized that even though she wasn't at the party, she was still doing something she enjoyed. Okay, so she's feeling better now. Her FOMO is going away. It's dissipating. It's disappearing. Plus, the latest episode had some major tea, some gossip. The main character finally revealed a big secret. Ooh, so if it's very dramatic, maybe some major tea has been spilled, okay? There's some juicy drama, juicy gossip. Now, Emma Stand, she supported that show so much she could hardly wait for the next episode. So she really loves this show. She stands the show, okay? In the end, Emma decided to text Jake. Maybe he wasn't ghosting, ignoring her on purpose. He was probably just busy. After all, she'd been so caught up in her show that she hadn't noticed much else either. And sure enough, Jake replied, apologizing, saying sorry for being MIA. There's another slang term that we didn't really discuss so far. MIA means unreachable. You can't get in touch with them. You can't get in contact with them. They are MIA, missing in action. Another acronym there. He'd been caught up in all the excitement of the tournament. So yeah, he was busy and she was overthinking it. Emma was reading too far into it. Yeah, she was reading too far into it. She was overthinking it, right? He'd been caught up in the excitement. He wasn't ghosting her on purpose. It was just an accident, a misunderstanding. So she smiled, feeling a lot less salty and ready to hang out with her friends again. Happy ending here. We've officially made it to the final part of today's video, the speaking practice part. I have a question for you. Imagine your friend ghosts you for a whole year, then wants to get back in touch. They want to reconnect. They want to start talking again. They want to resume communication after having ignored you for a whole year. How should you handle the situation? Do you forgive them and, pick up where you left off? In other words, pretend that everything is normal? Or do you stay salty? Maybe you call them out, give them a talking to. So what we're going to do, guys, is I will take a minute to respond to this question and show you what I'd like you to try and do. I want you to really push yourself to talk. Keep going for the full minute, because the more we push ourselves to speak, the more comfortable we will be speaking. It just makes sense, right? So I'll go first. I will respond for a full minute. Then it will be your turn. All right, here I go. So in this situation, if I had a friend who ghosted me for a whole year, then they wanted to get back in touch, how would I handle it? Well, I think for me, it depends on the level of friendship. If the person is just kind of an acquaintance, someone who's a friend, but not maybe a great friend, then I'd probably let it slide. I'd let it slide, or I'd let it go. I would not make a big deal out of it, or I'd not make a big deal about it, right? I would just say, okay, whatever. We're not really that good of friends. But if this person was a very good friend, a very close friend, a very personal friend to me, and they did that to me, I might be salty. I might call them out. We might have a fight about it. All right, guys, that was my 1 minute response. Now it's your turn. Once again, really push yourself. Go for it. Guys, if you like today's video, I suggest you become a channel member if you are not one already. Click join here on my YouTube page or go to patreon.com/English with Connor, and you can become a member for $5. You get hours of bonus content and you get PDFs for all of my videos. It's a really good deal. So don't spend hundreds of dollars on online video courses. Learn with me. Hire me as your YouTube English teacher. And if you are in the middle of a study session right now, let's keep going. I'm going to put another video up on the screen. Go click on it. I will meet you there and we will keep learning together. Let's go.